Good afternoon, everyone. Last one of the day, so get excited. First, I want to thank Max and everyone with the Invest Secure group. This has been an amazing day for me. I'm just humbled to be around so many really bright and really passionate people in the space. It's something that's very near and dear to me. My co-founder, Dr. Stuart Zola, wanted to be here today. Fortunately for him, he's in Norway and Iceland on a cruise, enjoying life. But I am honored and happy to be here as well. We have a pretty good team supporting MapHabit. We have folks that are experts in medical administration groups, private equity. They have an attorney who specializes in traumatic brain injuries and working compensation cases. And we have a number of physicians as well, advising us with expertise in predictive analytics and AI, and also geriatricians as well. So why am I here? Well, so you can see in this picture with my No Fear shirt in 1995. This is a little bit old, but from basically a very early age, my Uncle Byron, who was sitting down in a chair, was a big mentor of mine. He basically got me my first computer. He helped me become an entrepreneur and taught me a lot of different benefits of starting your own company. Since then, I've started about 7 companies, and I've taken a lot of the wisdom and teachings that he has given me and incorporated them into my life. Here's a picture of him 5 years later, right when he was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, and unfortunately he passed away 4 years after that. So due to some of those early influences in my life and my admiration towards him, I remained close with him through the condition as it progressed, and it really kind of made me aware of what his primary caregiver, his wife, me as an extended family, and his family all had to go through. It really takes a village to care for someone who's struggling with these kind of conditions. So what are the specific struggles? Well, there's a lot, and it not only affects the individual, it really affects the caregiver even more. So stress, withdrawal, isolation, anger, confusion, agitation, all of these are regular emotions that you experience that can unfortunately lead you to less independence and potentially risk of falls, not being able to take your medication on time, not meeting appointments to meet with your physicians to get better. So the struggle is immense, and it's something that we have to have some sort of solution for. So enter MapHabit. MapHabit focuses on a number of key areas for sustaining your independence and reducing the burden on the caregiver. Let's start with activities of daily living. This isn't the critical things that we do every day: eating, bathing, going to the bathroom, getting dressed. Things that we take for granted because we've been doing them for so long. As you develop these conditions and they progress to a point, you actually forget how to do these steps. You forget when to do certain activities. You forget the order in which to put on your clothes. So not only is it embarrassing to you, but it puts you at risk because you can become prone to fall and basically hit emergency rooms and other types of issues. Instrumental activities of daily living also start becoming problematic even earlier on. These are things such as shopping, managing medications, going and scheduling appointments, referring to appointments. So maybe some higher functioning people early on in the condition will have struggled with some of these instrumental ADLs, but really the caregivers as well are now forced to not only handle their own jobs, their own lives, but also help individuals with their activities of daily living. So there's assistance needed in all these areas. And just to kind of parlay on what was said earlier, really one of the few areas where we do have evidence that it does improve one's trajectory towards towards becoming even more impaired is memory health. So nutrition, things such as low inflammatory diets that are high in leafy vegetables and fish, such as the Mediterranean diet. Those are great ways to eat light and also to improve your mental state. Exercise, as we had heard before, we know that high intensity interval training focused on aerobics have a tendency also to reduce inflammation. They increase blood flow. The incorporation of strength training as well in a limited capacity, depending on your ability levels, will also reduce chances of falling. And also, sleep is incredibly important. As we heard earlier, when you get into deep sleep, that is one of the few times when your brain can actually repair itself. And to have a best practice and guide to ensuring that you get the best sleep as possible, reducing your smartphone intake about 2 hours before you go to sleep, dimming the lights early, setting the temperature lower. All these things that we know we should be doing, sometimes you just need a little bit of help and a little bit of reminders to do that. And then finally, social engagement. Social engagement is absolutely critical to retain that sense of self-worth. Even something simple where maybe it's not a group exercise like Tai Chi or yoga, but just going for a walk with one of your friends, or having a routine weekly or monthly reunion with a couple of different groups of people, or doing a FaceTime or video chat with others. All those things will reduce your depressive state and potentially put you in a much better situation for improving your memory health. So why am I bringing all this up? Well, there's what we're developing with MapHabit is primarily a mobile application that will guide the person through all of their activities of daily living in an easy-to-view interface. You basically have what your activity that you're supposed to be doing now, what's coming up next, and also some of the people who are in your life. This list of people can be your primary caregiver. This could be a family member. It could also be a professional caregiver that comes over to your house. So the list of caregivers will dynamically change based on who's scheduled to be with you. But it also will give you a reminder of who are your sons and your daughters, who are your grandchildren, who are your friends who are still in your life. So not only will it act as a reminiscence therapy, but it also will perk up your mood and reduce some of that embarrassment and frustration when you see someone and don't know their name. This will help you through that process as well. So not only having the scheduled activities through the day to make sure you don't take your medication twice, that's part of this. But really the secret sauce, as we say, is the step-by-step guide on accomplishing your activities of daily living. So let's just take one example, which is taking a shower. Let's say you're someone who actually needs a little bit of help with those steps. So first step would be your caregiver will come and assist you with that process. You will first take off your clothes when you're in your room. You'll then go to your shower. So all these pictures are specific to your room or your home, but just by having them personalized and relevant to you, it just increases the chance of you being able to do these successfully and independently. So naturally, after you're at the shower, you get in the shower, you take out the soap, you apply the soap, you wash your body, you grab a towel. So throughout this whole process, you can have music going on. It could be your favorite theme song. So you have Eye of the Tiger or The City of Brotherly Love. So maybe you like to do that to get pumped up and motivated. It may be the voice of your grandchild or your son or daughter who's giving you motivational feedback as you're going through that. Just anything to perk up the mood and make sure that you're in a very good frame of mind. All those techniques are very important for accomplishing these tasks independently. tried yoga before or never tried chair yoga as well, you can just click on the button and it'll bring up a video to guide you through some of the time-tested, approved ways to just improve your condition. And then finally, it'll prompt you to lead you to what your next activity is. So it will essentially allow the person to become more independent, and it will allow not only the individual but the caregiver to have a guide and a way for them to know what is scheduled for the day. The caregiver also will, and family for that matter, will have a potential for geo-tracking and a map. So if your loved one is going to be potentially wandering, which is a major risk for people, it can lead to falls and other ways that they can be taken advantage of. The app incorporates that as well. For a professional caregiver that has multiple family members or multiple people that they're caring for, we have basically a listing of all the people in their care. And to schedule some of these activities, it's really quite simple. You can use a lot of the standard calendaring functionality that we've become accustomed to with Microsoft Office, with doing basically choosing your activity, determining what days of the week it will go on, and even provide notifications to other members that are centered along the individual. Finally, we also have what's called a parking lot, which is really like a shared album. So no matter where you are in the world, you can help provide these messages and these videos. You can provide pictures that will perk up the individual's mood and even help them with some of their activities of daily living. Also, care coordination is very important. A lot of times, for every one person who has Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's-related dementias, there are very often 3 other individuals in their care. So having a way where you use technology to help some of that care coordination has proven to be very helpful. So the MapHabit system is more than just a mobile application, because we know that not everyone with the condition now is growing up with smartphones like we have now all become accustomed to. So we will have PDFs that will be printed out and sent to the person's home that will help them with their, getting dressed in the morning, or the steps that they need to take for showering. Smart devices such as Alexa, we will have a way for people to be fed some of the information on what is supposed to happen, or the voice of their loved one. And then eventually, early next year, we'll be incorporating predictive analytical models as we amass a large number of people using our application. So a little bit of the science behind this. Full disclosure, I'm an IT and finance background, but my partner is the neuroscientist. But as you can see on the left-hand side of your normal brain, the shrinkage occurs not only in overall mass, but in the hippocampus, which is your main everyday memory system that is used for all declarative memory. So what we are with MapHabit, we focus on the habit part of the brain, which is the globus pallidus and striatum areas. You can see in the size on both of those images, they actually stay about the same size, so you retain your ability to keep and make habits much further on into the condition. And that habit loop is infectious. As soon as you have these external cues from the MapHabit system, you're able to basically become accustomed to it and create that muscle memory to do a lot of these activities on your own. So don't just take my word for it. We're actually doing research. We're funded by the Georgia Research Alliance. We have a grant pending with the National Institute of Health, where we are working with veterans, geriatrics, and individuals with traumatic brain injuries who are much younger, who have shown great benefits from using the MapHabit system. African American community, as we heard as well, has higher incidence of Alzheimer's disease. And also in the adult care communities that have a continuum of care from independent living, assisted to memory care. We are using MapHabit in all those different disciplines to show what kind of benefits that people can have by having a structured, routine way of accomplishing tasks and really reducing reproducing their risk profile. So we believe that this can go even further than Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's-related dementias in the future. Special needs have been using maps for a long time. Also, physical therapy for remembering your exercises. And then finally, mental health. When you're stressed out and you can't remember things due to other brain disorders, we believe these visual maps can help a whole variety of people. And we look forward to sharing our progress with you. Thank you.